Hey guys, PJM305 here, back with another park battle in our World Cup tournament. Now, today for you guys, we have a little bit of a different battle, Canada's Wonderland versus Knott's Berry Farm. These are two great Cedar Fair parks, definitely considered two of the better ones. So, let's get started. First up, the family launch coasters, Backlot Stunt Coaster versus Pony Express. And definitely the point goes to Pony Express. It is a really cool ride, how it makes you sit on ponies, and how it's custom built and not a clone like Backlot, and how it is just a really awesome launch coaster. The inverts and Knott's Berry Farm will earn another point for having a B&M invert instead of a Vekoma SLC, and Silver Bullet crushes Flight Deck for everything. Now the Wild Mouse's Coast Rider versus the Fly. And I really hate to judge coasters by stats, but when the ride experiences are so close, then I have to judge it by stats. And the stats favor Coast Rider, so we're going to give the point to Knott's Berry Farm. Boomerangs. And we're going to give it to the Bat since it has a better color scheme and at least a creative name other than Boomerang. Interacting coasters. The only thing that they have in common is that they interact with other things. Thunder Run interacts with Wonder Mountain, while Jaguar interacts with some kind of tempo and other rides in the park. And the point definitely goes to Thunder Run for being one of the best mine trains out there. Looping coasters. Dragonfire versus Montezuma's Revenge. And Montezuma's Revenge crushes Dragonfire for everything. Schwarzkopf loopers, especially a shuttle looper like Montezuma's Revenge, is better than an aerodynamics custom looper. Unless it's one like Loch Ness Monster or Tennessee Tornado, then we'll make exceptions, but not in this case. These are some old, rough, twisty woodies. Wild Beast versus Ghost Rider, and we're going to give it to Ghost Rider for having its own layout and just being a more enjoyable ride than the Wild Beast. This is a pretty odd matchup. Sky Rider, a Togo stand-up, versus Sierra Sidewinder, a Mack Ride spinning coaster. And really, when the matchups are like this, where it's really weird, you just gotta look at both and decide which one you would rather go on. And a majority of people would rather ride a nice, family-friendly, also somewhat thrilling, smooth spinning coaster rather than a old, rough Togo stand-up. Although Sky Rider, many people do say smooth, but we're still going to give it to Sierra Sidewinder. Now for the kiddie coasters, Taxi Jam versus Timberline Twister, and definitely the point goes to Timberline Twister. It's a much better experience for kids, and kids are more likely to enjoy it. Jeez, Canada's Wonderland's falling behind, you better pick up your game. It does get a little better, because now the 200-foot coasters, Behemoth versus Accelerator. The only reason why these ones are matched up is because Canada's Wonderland does not have a high-thrill launch coaster. Their only launch coaster, unfortunately, is Backlot. And Knott's Berry Farm does not have a B&M hyper coaster like Canada's Wonderland does. So the only thing that they have in common is that they are over 200 feet. And we're going to give the point to Behemoth for having more airtime. Just keep in mind that Canada's Wonderland has 6 more coasters than Knott's Berry Farm. So in true fashion, we'll give them 6 points. So Canada's Wonderland fires into the lead, 9-7. Drop Towers, Drop Zone versus Supreme Scream. And this is one of the only times that I'll ever give it to an S&S over an Intimate. Because with the fact that it's just so much taller and so much faster, but the one at Canada's Wonderland barely loses this one. This is one of the only times I'll ever give it to an S&S over an Intimate Drop Tower. Huss Top Spin's Riptide versus Riptide. And we're going to give it to the one at Canada's Wonderland since it has 2 gondolas. Frisbee Rides. Cyclone versus La Revolution. I think that's how you pronounce it. And, we're going to give it to Cyclone because the seats face outwards and it's a much larger scale model. These are 2 different flat rides, Orbiter and Enterprise, or Supreme, or I think it's called Scream and Swing, and we're definitely giving it to Scream and Swing because S&S Scream and Swings are really cool and a lot better than an Enterprise. Just keep in mind that Canada's Wonderland has 4 extra flat rides: Sledgehammer, Nightmare, Windseeker, and Shockwave. So in true fashion, we'll give them 2 extra points, half a point for each flat ride. Alright, so it is now 12-8, Canada's Wonderland. Layout. Here's a good look at Canada's Wonderland's map. Here's a good look at Knott's Berry Farm's map. We're going to give the point to Knott's Berry Farm for having a more square and simple layout than Canada's Wonderland, and also with the fact that Knott's Berry Farm is a pretty small park, so everything is closer by, so it's easier to get around. The point goes to Knott's Berry Farm. Mix of rides, and the point goes to Canada's Wonderland for having more rides, more coasters, and more thrill rides. Pretty much more of everything. Alright. 13-10 now as location. Now, many of you are going to argue that Canada's Wonderland should take the point since it's outside of Vaughan, Ontario, which is outside of Toronto. But the reason why Knott's Berry Farm takes the point is because it is not too far from Los Angeles, and it's only 10 minutes away from Disneyland. And since people normally go to Disneyland on a family vacation, with the fact that Knott's Berry Farm is dominated by family coasters, that means they're set up to get even more visitors, so the point goes to Knott's Berry Farm. And now this very intense battle between 2 of the best Cedar Fair parks is over. But unfortunately, we can only give the title to one. And the winner by only 3 points is Canada's Wonderland. Congratulations to this fantastic Cedar Fair park, but kudos to Knott's Berry Farm for doing very well. Now here are the Group 2 standings. Canada's Wonderland leads it. Oh, sorry, made a scoring mistake. It's supposed to say 3. Wipe that. But yeah, Canada's Wonderland leads it with 3 points, and Knott's Berry Farm trailed at last with -1 points. But yeah, the next matchup will be between Six Flags St. Louis and Dorney Park. So I hope you guys will enjoy that battle. Hope you guys enjoyed this battle. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And tell me who you think will win the next matchup. Thanks guys so much. PJM305 here, signing off. Bye-bye now.